We're now joined in the studio by Tal Elovits. He's the former faction director of the Labour Party, recently retired. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
What's next?
Well, interesting things, a bit of writing and, sitting here with you.
That's always good. Now, if the Knesset does dissolve, Tal, and it's a question of when and not if at this point, how long would it take for the process to actually be completed in the Knesset, and when are we expected to see elections in Israel?
Yeah, so in the Israeli law you have 3 different ways to dissolve the Knesset, and the way that we're now talking about is that private MKs will put a bill on the floor and then they will vote it. Next Wednesday they say it can be the week later, but you have a window of between 90 days to 150 days to set the elections. Now with the Jewish holidays coming at the end of September and to October, the most common thing or thought is that the elections, if not by next week, the Knesset will dissolve itself. The elections will be late October, start of November, at the end of those 150 days.
So still in 2022, not into 2023?
Still in 2022. The other way that the Knesset can dissolve itself is without approving a budget, as we had at the year of 2020. Well, this will only be at the late of March 2023, which means next year, and then elections will be held 90 days, so June of 23. But anyway, in the coming year, we see the elections just behind the corner.
Now, I want to talk about the poll that we saw coming out this week, performed by Channel 12 this time, but the polls are more or less similar if you look at all of them in the recent week or so. Your party, or the party that you just retired from, you're still affiliated to the party, I imagine, gets 6 mandates. Used to have 7.
We still have 7.
You still have 7. You have 7 at the moment in the Knesset, losing 1 seat to 6. It doesn't seem like Merav Michaeli is managing to attract more audiences or voters to what used to be the biggest party in Israel. Well, how do you explain that?
First of all, it used to be, as you said, and I think that the Labour Party have revived itself, after having 3 seats in the last Knesset, in the previous Knesset. But polls are polls, and there are today in June, and the election, as we just talked about, will be late October, start of November. So there is a long way to go towards there. We're in the coalition. It's hard to do campaign when you're in the coalition. The opposition parties have a lot of other ways that they can do campaign without any responsibility for running the day-to-day lives of Israelis. I think that at the end of the day, when the campaign will be held and when the Labour Party will present its list, and obviously there will be primary elections and maybe new faces will emerge, I think back then maybe we can increase our size. At the end of the day, it's a proportional voting. So maybe 6 can be 8 easily. And the polling are now in June, so we hope.
Okay. What is she doing wrong, though? Because the party doesn't seem to be growing. No defectors from her party that everybody can actually admit, and probably
it's a big thing.
To Michaeli's satisfaction, considering the hurdles in the coalition. But still, what is she doing wrong? Why isn't the party growing under her leadership? Because she promised we will become great again.
I don't think we're doing wrong. I think maybe there's not doing enough. But, coming to office after years of neglections and finding, we just passed a budget bill late November, November of 2021. So you had a lot of time in office without any abilities to take projects out and to, let's say, initiate new projects as well. But now, coming to the year after entering office, I hope that more things will get attention. But bear in mind that you have X things that need to be taken in consideration, and X multiply 3 or 4 things that need to be done. So there's always smaller attention than all what needed. But I hope that in the coming year and the time that this government will still have, things will get the attention it needed. New transportation in Arab cities that was neglected for years, and now we are seeing the change. The roads to Eilat, which has just announced of 300 million shekels investment from the Ministry of Transportation. And it takes time for those projects at the end of the day for the people to see them on the streets.
Okay. Tal Elovits, thank you very much for coming into our studio.